BCD here, and today we're looking at the Sprleaf wireless 4K dash cam with Android Auto, CarPlay, backup camera, and mirror link. So let's start with what you get in the package. The packaging on the device has been nicely done, so I don't foresee any damage occurring during shipping. Pretty nicely packaged. You get the 1080p backup camera, you get the power cable, the aux cable, user manual, tie clips, and a plastic pry tool in case you mess up the mounting the first time around. The device itself has 4 ports, one for the USB-C for charging, the port for the backup camera, the SD card slot, which they give you a 64 gig card in the box, and the aux cable in order for you to engage the sound on your speakers with the aux plug. First impressions on the product, it does feel really well built. Feels like a solid device. The camera itself is very large with a large focal lens, as the camera itself just is very large. The mounting process is simple due to the rubbery and flexible stand. As for the backup camera, you should know that it does have an orientation, so it is not where you can flip it around with software. You need to place it correctly, and with that label on the top, that should be facing up when you do mount it, so that you know that you're facing the right direction, which I didn't do the first time. The Sprleaf user manual is really nice and easy. There's a lot of illustrations going over everything that you need to know in regards to how to get this set up and started. The mounting process was pretty simple in regards to just picking that place and figuring out where you wanted to place it. And like I said, using those flexible legs, you can get a pretty solid connection that does not have gaps. Next was plugging in all the power going into the cigarette light port. I called it that since I was a kid, so it's going to be called that now. But plugging in the aux cable for sound and then starting up the vehicle. At this point, you want to make sure you already have the 64 gig card installed, because you will need to format it immediately once you set it up, and if you don't want to have to be putting that in afterwards, so you want to put that in first, then boot it up. You're going to see it's going to say that it's failed. Then you can go into your system settings to format it, and that should change to successful and start recording automatically. As you can see, it's a light red indicator in the top right that tells you that it's recording and what the status is. Next, I did the simplest thing. Android Auto via Bluetooth 5.1. CarPlay and Android Auto are supported, so whatever you prefer. I use Android, that's what I chose. So you can use Bluetooth music as well if you want, but again, it's unnecessary if you enjoy Android Auto or CarPlay because it comes with it. Next up is just looking at the visuals on the camera, and I can say I was very impressed with the field of view and the clarity of everything. Not only for the front camera, but the back camera as well, which is 1080p. Remember, orientation is key, so when you do set it up, you want to make sure it's done correctly. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways you can set up the screens. You can have your Android Auto and also have the dedicated camera view if you wanted to, front or back, or you could just have it front and back cameras and nothing else, even while Android Auto is set up. So it's just a great way to have some flexibility when it comes to the screen. And being that it's a 10-inch screen, it really does show a lot of detail, and the quality is high on that screen with the responsive times. Size wise, in regards to the file sizes, you can switch the resolutions to save some space so you can record a lot more video. It does have a smart delete function where you can lock a certain amount of videos depending on the size of your SD card, and it will begin to delete the oldest ones as you record new ones, theoretically avoiding any missed footage due to a memory capacity error. So a few key takeaways that I did notice while preparing this video is clarity is key. If you want the highest amount of clarity, as you can see, I have lines on my backup camera because it's in the vehicle when it should be on the outside. So mounting it by the license plate is your best bet for that. If you're comfortable with my clarity, then you can do it through the inside of the vehicle as well. When mounting, please make sure you're wiping your car clean of any dirt on the surfaces, as you want these things to stick and last. Cable management will be a big part of setup, so make sure you are prepared and understand how you want the cables to flow throughout the vehicle. Strapping these down to secure and have them out of the way as you run to the back of the vehicle for the backup cameras is key. You don't need to set up everything. Obviously, I'm never going to use the FM radio, so those functionalities were not tested, but Android Auto, the cameras, the setup, the responsiveness of the screen all passed with flying colors in my opinion. I really did enjoy the larger screen, the easy to understand instructions, quick formatting, and ready to go aspect of the entire product. I can recommend it based on that. I do not have a long stint of time with the device, so I don't know in regards to longevity. But what I can say out of the box experience, there is some well built product here, and you should give it a shot if you're interested.